Hello everyone. Um, Seems to be a long time since we last talked, but I've just realised that it's coming up for the anniversary when I did the first tractor blog, which was to do with George's Tractor Day. It was a challenge at the time, set on by somebody else that had done a rally in their field, a private rally, and it got into quite a thing. I quite enjoyed doing it, and I did quite a few, probably 16 or 17, and getting more and more popular. And I think the last one was in January, and all set to keep going. But had a big blow really, which would knock anybody sideways. My mate Timmy, who featured in a lot of the blogs when we were doing it, we featured his truck and several tractors, and you saw him in several of them, and we certainly talked about him. Well, anyway, in January he fell ill, and it wasn't good. And after a lot of messing about, he finished up in hospital, and unfortunately diagnosed with brain tumour, lung tumour, and liver, and they gave him days to live. He lasted more than days. It was a few weeks, but the end result was the same, and unfortunately we lost Timmy. That takes some sticking, I'll tell you. He was a good friend, and sometimes he was a bloody nuisance, and he knew it. But you know, we've got to a lot of things between us, and worked the rallies between us. Bought tractors. I bought tractors off him. He could never buy off me, but he tried. But anyway, so we've had that to deal with. And Timmy was like my lodger. He got equipment everywhere. Some of it good, most of it bad, and I've had to clear that up, sort it out. So it's been sold, some of it's still here. Fortunately, we've found good homes locally for a lot of it, so you know it's still around. Tim is still around, but it's you know, I couldn't get back into doing these blogs. I've got to say it, and I'm not sure if I'll actually publicise this one when I've finished it, but we'll see. I don't want it to be a morbid thing. As a result, I haven't done very much with the tractors. We finished the 6-cylinder major, or did we got it as far as you saw it on the last blog, and I've been intending to do all sorts of things. Keep gonna do it and don't do it. So with this anniversary, the 12-month anniversary of doing the first one, I thought I've got to get started again and do this because I enjoy it, and maybe some of you do. So that's enough. Well, not enough rambling really. I want to tell you. Timmy was. I'm going to talk about Timmy for a minute because he was a big part of my life, really, and we, as I say, we did a lot together. Now, Timmy, although I couldn't see him because of this bloody lockdown, I did talk to him a bit on the phone, and you know, he knew what he wanted. He knew he was going. He'd got an illness anyway, which could have taken him. It's a lung problem, but didn't expect this. Anyway, Timmy told me what he wanted. He knew he couldn't have a church service when he'd gone, but he wanted to go in the cemetery and open air service. He wanted his mates to sing a song for him about Cornwall, and he knew what he wanted. So, but of course, when it happened, we couldn't do that. We weren't allowed to have more than 30 people gathering in the cemetery. They didn't even like that. Couldn't have the singers there, and it just wasn't right. So we thought we got to do something for Timmy, although he didn't know what was going on. We had to do it because people wanted to pay their respects. So we decided that his field marshal tractor, you know, he'd had that all those years, and it was only fitting that that would be part of his final journey. So we set the tractor up, and through Facebook, I said, you know, Tim's last journey is going to be down through the village on a tractor and trailer, field marshal and trailer, and if you want to pay your respects, you know, come out and you can do it. So then I was getting requests on Facebook, you know, can we follow on our vintage tractor? And I said, oh God, you know, I'd love to have said yes, but we couldn't because St Morgan's only a small village and we could have clogged it right up. So I said, no, you can't do that. But I said, if you want to walk down behind the trailer, you can do that. And if you want to show your respects with a vintage vehicle, go to St Column, which is a few miles away, but it's a nice wide verge, and you know, we would slow down for you as we took Timmy to the crematorium, and you pay respects. Well, anyway, Timmy, he'd asked for two of his favourite songs to be sung. One was called Cornwall My Home, which, if you've not heard it, it's well worth listening to. Shows what Cornwall's all about. And the other was Trelawney, which is a real battle cry for the Cornish, and Timmy wanted those. So we've got Phil Trebilcock, who's got a field marshal, the same. Well, in fact, it was a field marshal he bought off Timmy. He's got that. He sings with the Newquay Rowing Club Singers, and I asked him if they'd come to the village and sing for him, and they did, and it was beautiful. Anyway, there was a tremendous amount of people turned out. There's a YouTube film, which, if I can put the link on here, I will, because it's fabulous. It really shows what it's all about, and I can't describe it as well as that film does, so I'm going to shut up at that. But so we gave Timmy the send-off he deserved, and it was brilliant, very moving. Now, as a sort of tribute to Timmy, I did our parish magazine, and I put him on the cover, which was great. But it just felt a bit empty, you know. Timmy was such a large force, and although I gave his eulogy at the funeral, you know, it was 30 people, and so I felt we ought to do a bit more for him. So because I'd got this experience doing the Directly magazine, I asked for tributes from people, and I've put together a book. This is just a draft of it. It's gone to the printers now, but that's roughly what the cover's going to be like. And it's 60 pages, and it's all about Timmy. It's talks about his funeral. It's a lot of photographs, a lot of tributes from his friends, a lot of stories from his friends. Some are absolutely hilarious, typical Timmy. There's a couple of stories from me in there about when he bought his Rolls Royce, and you know, what happened with that, and you know, it just typifies Timmy. So, and what we're going to do, it's a free magazine. I haven't put a price on it. I'm pleased to do it for him, but what I have asked people to do is, you know, take one by all means. If you want to put 50 pence in, you've got no idea what printing costs, but if you want to give a bit more, you know, do that. So I've already had quite a few donations, and if it keeps on in this form, I'm going to exceed the cost of printing quite easily. And what we're going to do then is, Timmy's got his favourite charities, so we're going to divide whatever the surplus is, will go to those charities. They're all Cornish charities, all local, all causes close to Timmy's heart, really. There's the Alpaca at Tregasworth do a lot for kids. The Little Harbour Children's Hospice, Chris's Sunshine Appeal. Chrissy is a wonderful girl who used to come and take photographs at our rallies. She's suffered from cancer herself, and she's terminal, but she's gone out and raised a lot of money for people. Well, her favourite charities, same thing really, and so we'd love to support that. Cornwall Air Ambulance, which is essential in this county. The Merlin Centre, which do a lot for multiple sclerosis people, and I'm having some of that treatment myself at the moment. It's an oxygen regenerating thing. And then, of course, Montage Hospice, where Timmy finished his days. So that's what we're doing for him, and I think he'd be pleased with it. So we'll see. So if you'd like a copy of the book, it'll be out probably by this weekend, but the target is the 15th of this month. The 15th of this month is the anniversary, actually, of when I did the first blog, but it wasn't meant for that. It's the anniversary of Timmy's truck getting down the village, and so, you know, that's what I was aiming for. So we'll I might show a few of those clips on this. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I'm rambling on this because I really haven't planned it, but I've got to do something. So yes, that's where I've got to with it so far. So I'll just finish off the Timmy bit. I'll show you a few pictures of Timmy, and then I'll come back to you again. Okay, so that was my mate. Going to miss him a lot, especially when we do the rallies, because he's my, or perhaps I was his wingman on the ring commentaries, but it's going to take some replacing because he was special, very special. But anyway, so what have I been doing since? Well, because of all this lot, I just haven't got back into the tractors. I've still got the David Browns in bits. I haven't really done much to those. I did show you in one of the films, I bought 2 tractors off Timmy. One was a super major with a winch on, and one was another super major. I've got the winch, well, I've got them both out, and I've squared the winch tractor up a bit, got a front on it, got some inflated tyres, got it all rolling. It was solid, but it's a labour of love really, but I've just made it look a bit prettier. I've got, this week, we've taken, the last tractor here really of Timmy's was his Muir Hill shunter. So we got that out and got that started. And that's going to be in an auction which goes live on Friday with Ed Buckland. So that'll be coming up for auction. And because I felt we ought to put something else in it, I'm going to sell my diesel major with a welder on the front of it. Not the one I've restored, but the other one that's potentially restorable. They'll both be put in with no reserves on. The Muir Hill, I think, should make reasonable money because it's an easy restore really. It's not the prettiest thing to drive around, but it's certainly got a rarity value. It's a power major, so it must be about 1959, 1960, something like that. Could be 58. It's built like a brick shithouse, so you can't do anything with it. Everything's there. All the tin works fairly, looks tatty, but it's solid and it will square up. So, if it makes good money, great. That'll be put to good use, and if it doesn't make good money, it'll stay here because I shall buy it back. Not that I need any more work, but it's good. I think it's collectible. The only drawback is it's quite heavy, but that's what it was for. So we'll see what that does. The diesel major with the welder on it, it's certainly in a lot better condition than the one I bought and restored. The tractor does run. We've had that running and it's fine really. Everything's there with the tractor. I put the welder on the front of it because it needed to go on something. The welder itself, the generator, is stuck. I didn't know when I bought it, I didn't know what to do with it because how do you hit a generator to free it off? But when I bought the replacement for it, which does work, I was given all the instruction books to go with it. So whoever buys this welder I can photocopy the instruction books and they'll know exactly how it goes together. And a good friend of mine that's into these heavy generators and that, he says, that'll go again. There's no problem. It will go again. I wasn't quite so convinced, but anyway. So there we are. So I'll show you a couple of pictures of those. I don't know if I've got an action photograph of it, but anyway, have a look at that for now. There, so get bidding. I need to get rid of some tractors. Okay, so what else has happened? We've been having a bit of reorganising here. Obviously, we've been making a bit of space with moving Timmy's gear and shifting it. And because I've been shifting that, it's enabled me or prompted me to clear up a lot of the rubbish I got about. You keep thinking that'll be useful, but actually it's not very useful. So the scrap man's taken a bit away. Guy Fawkes has had a lot more. We've had some lovely clouds around here, but don't know where they came from. Anyway, so we got rid of that, made a bit of space. That's enabled me to tidy things up a bit. Meanwhile, we've been sorting workshops out. I've rented some of the space out, and we got another interesting visitor arrive, which I've always said I can't stand or don't particularly like it, but certainly got a bit of an attraction. Now you're thinking, what the hell's he on about? But have a look at this and see what you think. There, I hope I don't get the steam bug because that just soaks your time up. But Tom, the chap that owns it, he's going to keep it here. He's working here. He's got the workshop, and so he's going to be doing this. He's got more than one steam engine. That's just one. He's got a. It's not going to be telling you what it is because I don't know. I can't remember. He's told me, but I'll get him on. I'll get him on this sometime, and you can see how lucky you are not having to use steam. But that's a lovely engine. It's 125 years old. There's a bit of a tragic story with that, really, but this isn't the time to go into it. But it's as you heard, it sounds beautiful, and I must admit, the smell of it when I walked out and saw it there, it does get to you a bit. So I hope to God I don't get the steam bug, because, like I say, I haven't got time. I've got too many tractors to do up. But I'm quite happy to have one here, and you know, when we finally get a George's Tractor Day going again, you know, that'll be there, and it'll definitely be at the rally. We think, we're pretty confident we're going to have the rally this year. It's going to be our rally is one of the last ones, and if anything's going to go, you know, we'll be able to do it. So unless something awful happens with this COVID and there's a breakdown, I just cannot see why we can't run it. There's some of our team aren't quite so confident as me, but I, you know, my feeling is you've got to get on with it. You know, it was sort of, well, what can we do? And I said, well, let's look at it the other way. What can't we do? And if we look at everything we've done at the rallies and what we plan to do, and see what we're being stopped from doing, and if you set about it and you say, right, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it, and if we got to change things around a little bit so that we can still do it, that's what we'll do. But if you start thinking, you know, what can we do, and you've got this COVID barrier in front of you, you'll get stopped every time. So, you know, I just encourage anybody out there to have a go. It's all possible, but you've got to, you know, somebody's got to make the first move. And I know there's other rallies going on, and I've got no idea how they're going to operate. We will sneak along and have a look to see if we're going to miss anything. But I, you know, my gut feeling is all us old boys like me, I go for my second jab on Friday. So, you know, we're protected. So what's the worry? Let's get out there and start living again, because this is no good. We need to go and have a talk with our mates and have a drink and a laugh, and we can still have a laugh, but you know, it's not the same, is it? Let's get back to the old rallies and enjoying ourselves. So that's where we are with that. Plans for the future at the moment, I can't think what I'm going to do the next blog on, but that's enough to think about now. One thing from Timmy, I'd really bought all the tractors off him I wanted, so you know, we did deals on them, and I paid for them, and that was it. But one that I always hankered after, it wasn't his Field Marshal, surprisingly enough, but he did buy a nice little standard Fordson, and he wanted me to have that, and he told me what the price was, mind. but so I have got his standard Fordson, and you know, that's one I'll treasure, really, because it's not the same tractor, but it's the same, exactly the same as the one I drove first as a, well, I like to think it was when I was about 5 or 6 and I could stand on the clutch and drag myself down, but I was only moving a trailer along between rows of sheaves, really. So and then the law stopped me doing anything with the tractor then for years, and when I was 12, actually, my dad did set me off rolling with this standard Fords, and so that was the first tractor I ever drove in a field. Went and did a job. I rolled a field, and I told you about it in an earlier blog, but I went off and rolled the field, and it was great. You know, went off in first gear, and I found second gear, and then I found third gear, and third gear on a standard Fords and it fast. But when I got back to my dad, he was working in another field, and so I finished. Yeah, well, he said, now you can go back and do it again at the right speed because you've done it too fast. So that didn't matter, did it? I had 2 goes at it then. But that's where I learned to drive a tractor. So anyway, that'll do for now. I'm not sure if this is a short one or a long one, but we'll see. Hopefully this has broke the ice, and I'll do some more. We've got some projects coming up. There's obviously the David Brains to put back together. That's turned into a much bigger job than first anticipated, but it will be a lot better. So I've got that to do. I've got the winch tractor to sort out. Still got the Super 6 to sort out. There's lots of jobs we can go on and keep doing it. So when I get all these other things put to bed, hopefully I'll get back on it and spend a bit more tractor time. My hands are clean still, look at that. So, okay, so that's it for now. I'll see you directly.